Some people think it'd be nice, man, if I could see a miracle, then I'd be so much better. Not necessarily. And you can have that. It's 6 in the morning and we headed to work. What's happening? Zach with a quest for greatness here. This channel is about exploring a personal relationship with God, most especially for those of us who are children of God. It's not only for us, but mainly so. Now what we're trying to do is highlight that aspect of godliness, of Christianity, and doing it by talking about what is true. Hold on, I'm in the dark. We're also doing it by sharing my personal walk, my ups and downs, and by dispelling a lot of the common myths about Christianity, especially those held by us Christians themselves. So what I hope you'll do is subscribe. I hope that you'll continue to come back and watch and follow this. I hope that you'll comment. I really, really hope that you'll comment so that we can get some feedback, good or bad, positive or negative. And like Clayton has started to say, if you like it, hit the like button. And if you don't like it, hit the like button. You would not believe how bumpy these roads are in Banner Elk from all the snow and ice. Not really that bumpy, but look, I talked last time, you listened, about how a relationship with God begins. And it wasn't intended to be instructional, because we're talking to people who already have that relationship with God. The problem with the last video is that there's not a lot of agreement on how that happens. In fact, what I'm talking about from the Bible seems to be more so minority, because there seem to be other options as far as how to call on the name of the Lord, how to come to Him and be saved. But either way, we talked about how that began, and the main point of it was to highlight vows, because we've talked about a covenant, how this is a commitment to God. And there are a lot of people that I know of that mention those aspects, those vows, and talk about them as steps. And they make it sound like you earn salvation, which is not possible. But those are really vows, not steps, not things that you do and accomplish. You know, I've said it one time like it's they're doors in the hallway of faith, as if you just go through them and move on. So that's this video. Let's highlight those vows, at least begin to, and see how to establish, really set up this relationship with God. Number one is hear. No, seriously, number one is to hear the truth, because you got to have a why. Now this is where I start to preach, so bear with me. You got to have a reason why. Faith comes by hearing. Nobody ever obeyed God without knowing about God and having some sort of why that they heard about. I mentioned Romans 10:17, that faith comes by hearing. What do you think we've been doing since we obeyed the gospel? Growing in our faith, right? Well, if you're doing that and trying to do that without constantly going to the source of faith, Jesus, God, the Spirit, and the word that they produced, there's no way to grow it. So the first vow I made to God is that I would always hear Him, that I would always listen to Him, that's how I would grow. And there's lots of other places and passages that you could go to. That's one of my favorite. If you know Hebrews 11, you know verse 6 says, without faith it's impossible to please Him. Well, we just talked about that resource. So not only did I hear Him for the first time, but there's so much more to learn. There's so much. To the day we die, we will continue to learn, continue to read, continue to grow, and that comes with this vow that I will always hear you. not part of any relationship though, is to hear the other person. I mean, that's what we got to do, right? Is make this real. Isn't that part of your relationship with your husband or your wife or anybody, your friend? Is that you're going to listen to them. That's where it becomes difficult with God, is because it's not, contrary to some people, it's not audible anymore. Now look, I'm glad it's not audible, because we live in the perfect day and age where we have the entire mystery unfolded in the Bible. The question of the video: what do you do to keep that vow with God that I will always hear you? Do you read 30 minutes a day or whatever? Do you have a Bible reading plan? Do you set aside some time at a specific time of day? Do you get away? How do you work on that commitment? And if not, all of us need improvement. What would you do to work on that commitment and keep that vow to God? Some people think it'd be nice, man, if I could see a miracle, then I'd be so much better. Not necessarily. And you can have that, or those people in that time can have that. I wouldn't trade being in the first century and being with Peter and Paul and all those people. Would it be amazing to see Jesus and to see miracles in the New and the Old Testament in that format? Absolutely. But man, I wouldn't trade it, because they didn't have the Bible, the absolute finished product with the whole story. And I'll keep what I've got. You and I need to be thankful for that. I hear a lot of people that wish they could have a sign or see this or have done that or been with Jesus. And there were people with Jesus who struggled. Go read about his disciples in all 4 gospel accounts. And those people saw it every day and were catching on to it and still struggled. So it's not like it's bulletproof. In fact, it's just that much better to have the truth in full form. Man, I'm talkative today, rambling. Had a good class last night. I got good sleep. So I'm just going on and on. The first vow to God is to hear him, is to listen. It happens with any relationship, right? Is you when you get to know someone, you want to know everything about them. When you love anybody, you want to know as much as you can about them. You want to do everything you can for them. In order to do that, you got to be aware of their situation, what they like or dislike. And so same thing with God, but at the respect level and the honor level is so much higher. And it's my responsibility to go and find out. And I need to take more time, and so do you. I'm sure you do. To just read. And there are no magic formulas. Please stop looking for some study plan. Please stop trying to find some gimmick. There are no gimmicks. I still have stupid commercial jingles in my head from the 80s from watching TBS. And I know those jingles still. How is that? Because I set out to memorize them? Not at all. Because it was repetition. And even it's not something I set out to learn, and it's still there. So what if I repeatedly read the Bible? What do you think's going to happen? It's not like a jingle, but you know what I'm saying? It'll stick more so than you think. Trust it and honor this vow by reading. Simple as that. But I don't understand everything that's in there. Of course you don't. Jesus said to seek, ask, knock. I don't even know if it's in that order in Matthew chapter 7. And God will give it to you. Pray about it. Pray about what you're reading. Always do that. And ask for understanding. And it's not some hocus pocus. It's just a promise that the Lord will guide us through it. And trust that he has gone to all these lengths to make sure that you and I have the truth. He will make sure we understand it if we seek it out. So that's vow 1. Hear God. Listen to him. It just started at our conversion. It's not something we did one time and we moved on. You want to stay in a great relationship with the Lord? Then like any other, listen to him. He's written this massive love letter with 66 chapters that we call books. And it's all one big love letter story about what he did to save you and me. So I challenge you on that one. We'll come back next time and talk about the next vow that we started at conversion, which was to believe. All right. Have a great day. I'm out.